Um, I was gonna say, what kind of news? Reality TV news. Let's get into Porsha, because apparently her husband's been detained by ICE. Well, did they officially get divorced, or are they still married like Kim and Croy? So yeah, come to find out, this man who snuck back into the country, by the way, after he was deported before a couple of years ago, he got detained by ICE. You know, Trump going after everybody. Thank God I'm an American citizen. I got to deal with this foolishness. We got other things we got to worry about. But my heart goes out to all you immigrants out there that's dealing with a lot of this mess. So apparently life comes at you fast because, excuse me, earlier this month, Simon Guobadia was ranting on Instagram about Porsha Williams promising to expose her as a real fraudster of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But this week, it looked like he's sitting in a detention center after being taken into custody by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE. So the Nigerian-born businessman is being held at Stewart Detention Center in Lumpkin, Georgia, according to U.S. Department of Homeland Security's records obtained by Us Weekly. So the Real Housewives of Atlanta star, who's 43, seemingly responded to the news of Guobadia's detainment on her Instagram on Friday, calling the situation disheartening amid her contentious divorce. Well, you know they're going to ask when Atlanta Housewives actually premieres, I think next month. Oh, you know they're going to ask her that down the road at the reunion. So she said, it's disheartening to see my estranged husband make choices that have led to this outcome. At this moment, my priority is moving forward with my family, she wrote. Thank God you ain't had no kids with him. Now, Guobadia was taken into ICE custody amid President Trump's mass deportation plan, which he signed into effect with several executive orders last month as he returned to the Oval Office for his second term. Because, you know, he loves stroking that pen. The 60-year-old migrated from Nigeria to the United States in 1982 and allegedly overstayed his welcome. Oh, and visa. He was declared deportable in 1985 per Atlanta's WSB TV2. And then I think he slipped back in, as I should say, by the way, a lot of immigrants do when they get deported. They find ways to get back in this country. So all this other stuff that y'all talking about, it's all performative in regards of our government. So then they said Guobadia was arrested in 1987 for bank and credit card fraud. Now, after he was later arrested 2 additional times, he was deported to Nigeria in 1992. However, he was able to return a month later. See? Then in 2016, the reality TV star applied for citizenship. However, he was denied by the U.S. government because his previous status was unlawfully granted. Now, Guobadia has filed several complaints and appeals in attempts to be declared a neutralized citizen, though his efforts have not been successful. Yeah, because the many stunts and shows you pulled getting in and out of this damn country, especially when you was doing the bank and credit card fraud, which I don't want to get into those stereotypes, but how come every time, but how many times have we had conversations or the stereotype overall about Nigerian people is always they're attached to credit card fraud or some type of white collar crime? If there was no truth in that story, I'm not saying all Nigerians are that way. I'm just saying that that is always the top thing that comes to people's head when it comes to when you equate Nigerians, they be up to some credit card fraud. I literally just got a text earlier, something about this new scam that they going after in regards of lack of toll payments. And they want you to send them the money because you ain't paying the tolls in your car. Now, mind you, I don't drive in New York. I don't drive. So what toll payments? You don't need to drive if you're in New York because we have public transportation. Albeit our transportation is shitty, but still, who needs to drive around New York? I mean, unless you're on the outskirts of the 5 boroughs, I could totally understand you needing a car, but you don't need a car to get around New York. So I was like, okay, the scam is scamming, and I just deleted it. So then he said Williams and Guobadia then tied the knot in November 2022 with 2 lavish ceremonies. Now, in February of last year, Williams filed a divorce with Guobadia after just 1-year marriage. Well, I don't even think they're fully finalized the divorce, but girl, you better hope you get that before they slither his behind back to Nigeria, or ship his behind back to Nigeria, I should say. But look, sir, you try to do your little pomp and circumstance, your stunting shows, but we under a new regime, and they are not playing when it comes to the way they trying to treat this country and all this other stuff, especially when it come across with immigration and mass deportation. So if you're thinking that you're going to get the proper citizenship, it's not going to happen. But you thought you was going to, and this is another thing that's diabolical too. So you pull all these stunts for decades, and your black ass was on TV like nothing happened, showing off your new teeth, your slim down waist, giving full on TD Jakes swallowed tease aesthetically. And you was over here doing all this fraud and stuff. That's always the thing that baffles me about a lot of y'all that be on that Bravo channel. The amount of stunts and the amount of white collar crimes a lot of y'all get caught up in between him, Apollo, who was on Married to Medicine recently, and all the other mess that y'all be doing down in Atlanta. The scams be scamming. But anyway, so I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards to the latest on Porsha's estranged husband, Simon Guobadia, being detained by good old ICE? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.